We are officially on day 2, and I feel like this is one of those things where I'm trying to honor the process of stuff. I also know that I don't not like routine. I think I'm just trying to gently put myself in the new routine without feeling like I have to dismiss my emotions or not actually acknowledge kind of what's going on.
Hello. Are you ready to go outside? No.
I think the difference in doing 75 Love for me is always that it was really heavily about the fact that I'm slowing down and I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm asking a lot of, okay, this feels like it could be better. Where am I holding myself back? Or where am I not allowing myself to dream? Or what's no longer really serving me? Like, the intention of this time, and I will say it throughout the duration of this, is it's not about a checklist. It really is about giving myself space to reconnect with myself, to make changes, to listen to the airplane that's going by. More than anything, it's often about how do I let myself and help myself deal with the emotions that I've been avoiding processing. That's like a big component of this for me. And I feel like I was journaling this morning, as you guys would have seen, and just kind of brain dumping and letting myself go. And anyways, there's elements of like anger and pain that need to be processed. And I think that that'll probably come from actually working out in the morning. I feel like that's kind of what I'm feeling drawn back to. And I need to journal on that a little bit this afternoon and kind of go through the process of, you know, what in me doesn't want to do that? What in me is afraid of kind of starting my day that way? Why do I feel like I'm avoiding this? What am I scared I'm going to experience? What am I scared that is going to happen if that's kind of the standard for how I start my day? And to just be honest with myself about it, because I can feel that I have some resistance to it, and we're getting closer to making that the beginning of the routine, but we're going to kind of honor that process. So original thought for today was that I was going to get up and work out, and then we were going to go out and do stuff. I feel like today's a day I'm probably going to have a lot more to journal about, because I just have some stuff that it needs to get out. It's starting to bubble up because that's what this process looks like, and we're just gonna give it the space to say the thing out loud. I know for myself, sometimes I get stuck in the space of like, you don't want to think that thought, but you need to acknowledge that it's kind of bubbling under there somewhere, and like you create more fear around a thought or a feeling or something by not being able to just say it and be like, hey, that's just a phrase, like that's just a sentence, like that's just words, and it doesn't have to have meaning. So the more that like I stuff it down, the more it becomes like a festering wound. It's very much a splinter. Today's the day we get some more of those splinters out. After I chatted with you guys earlier, I came back up to the front of the house. I don't remember what I was doing, and I was just kind of sitting there on my bed for a second, and I had this moment of like, oh, and it's exactly what I've been talking about so far, is that until you kind of let yourself acknowledge that the thing's kind of under there, you can't really see what you need to change or why you need to change it. And it just kind of clouds everything up. And so I've been sitting with the fact very kind of quietly that there's very much a part of me that's afraid to live this big life. And it seems really silly because in the past I would just go after things. Like I had no recollection of like pausing in a way, or maybe being aware that I was pausing in a way, just going after things and chasing the life that I wanted to live. It did not feel like a big deal to me. And yeah, I would procrastinate, but the awareness of all of the things wasn't there. Like I had no idea. I just saw it, had the vision for it, and kind of went after it. Versus now with things, and especially in the way that I've changed my mindset kind of approaching things, is very, very different, and I'm more aware of that stuff. And so what I've kind of had to recognize, and what I recognized as I kind of came back into the room this morning, was there was like multiple layers going on, and I needed to pull like one string at a time. And the first one was that there's definitely a part of me that has this very quiet belief of I will put everybody but me first. And some of that is maybe my own past experience. Some of that is like an internalized experience from watching other people do this full time and the way that they've taken on the mom approach in life. And like, it's a fear of repeating past mistakes and not wanting to be that person who didn't make time for herself and didn't have that healthy emotional relationship, and, you know, the one that's been passed down from parents, and the experience that I don't want to live again, nor do I want to take into like parenthood in the future. And then it's the pulled in experience from other people. And then it's that part of me that's like, I need to know how I don't do this again. Like, how do I guarantee that there's something in my routine that no matter how busy I get, I'm always making sure that I take care of this, because I just can't allow myself to go down that rabbit hole again. And so in a practical sense, my brain is like, I need to know that there's a way that we fix this. I need to know that there's a way that this doesn't exist again. So the way my brain kind of resolved that was, I need to know that every single day I will make time to emotionally check in. And even more so than that, I need to know that like I'm going to do that almost first, and that it's going to be a priority to me. Because if it's not one of those things, it'll feel like, hey, I think I picked the wrong foundation color today. My bad. It's just gonna feel like I get laid to the wayside of my life. But also, you get to a point when you're living a bigger life, if you've got people around, they're gonna want your attention. They're going to have needs from you. And like right now, a lot of my people work on different schedules. So I don't have anybody who's, you know, gonna be kind of there and need me to be mom or do whatever. So I feel like I've said this already in the vlogs, but like a lot of the stuff that I feel drawn to, but also feel like I'm struggling with, is the version of me that's on the other side of this, that's living my dream life. What does she need to feel successful? What does she need to feel set up to be able to do everything completely and totally in the best way? And so what I kind of came up with in that questioning was that like, I need to find a way to make sure that every single day, and no matter what, I emotionally check in. And I kind of did it this morning with you guys. It's not normal for me to journal in bed, but I also have had this struggle for myself with kind of self-development, but also like just that as a part of the morning routine, where it can become a little bit too normal for me to focus on my issues and to not focus on being present. My ears are gonna have a little foundation today because they're really white. We're making excellent life choices right now. I don't want to get caught in that habit that I've gotten caught in before, where, and I realized this last night as I was journaling, as I was doing the like I'm thankful for at the end of the day. It's something that I realized for a while, but really having myself do it as a part of this challenge made it more present for me. Very much that idea of like, I've never been taught to celebrate my wins. And I know that's kind of not an unusual problem for people. I really don't know how to function with having the new makeup setup. I turned everything around, but I've edited this out like in 5 different vlogs that you just submitted there. It Cosmetics sent me a PR package a couple weeks ago, and I have to say, this brush is so freaking good. I enjoy the new concealers. I've still been kind of really liking this combo at the moment, but their airbrush angled concealer brush is just phenomenal. But what I was saying is, I've never been someone who's taught to celebrate my wins. And maybe that's partially because I wasn't a sports person as a kid. Like, I did a season of basketball, but like, we didn't do a lot of sports in this house. It was always musical and creative. And so nobody else in my house really had the passion for that or the experience for it. So then you also don't understand how hard it is, or what you're actually creating, or what it means to kind of do that. And I never was taught to kind of, you know, appreciate my accomplishments. They were just kind of an expectedness of who I was. And so as I was doing it last night in my journaling, I was realizing, you know, I kind of did a mixture of things that I'm grateful for, and like things that I'm grateful for that occurred today, and then the things that I'm grateful for. Hello. I know my air's not on right now. Do you want to stay in here while my air's not on? Do you want to go back out? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm standing in her spot and the air's not on at the moment while I'm talking to you. But I realized that I'm just not so great about, you know, marking down my accomplishments and seeing things that I could be grateful for from the day. I'm like good at looking forward, and like even in the gratitude sense, I'm good at looking forward for things that I can be grateful for in the future, but I'm not always as good about being grateful for them in the moment. And that was very apparent in my journaling last night, which is a whole reason why we're doing this journey. That habitual practice is going to be so helpful for me, but I did very much realize that like being thankful for things from the day, looking at where maybe I wasn't expressing gratitude as much, or as much awareness for how much joy I probably should put in certain places. Like I've had that moment last night of like, when was the last time I was present about how much gratitude I have for my pets? Like, I think it's been a minute because we were going through so much with Bear, and then kind of coming out of it, I was like, you know, it's been a minute since I've acknowledged that there's gratitude there, and I get so caught up into how much I'm struggling and how much it's not working and how I want to fix it that you don't live the best version, or you don't get to experience the moment. So like that practice is something that I haven't really done as heavily before, but I really feel like it's one I'll take onto the other side of this. My point in saying all of that and talking about gratitude practice is that the one thing that I don't want to do, and I think I've kind of found what we're going to try is the first version of this, is I like journaling if I'm waking up and I'm like, I need to process some things. I don't like it if I'm trying to figure out and fix what's wrong. And so I realized this morning that I probably just needed to tap to start my day. Like it's a possible thing for me to do, to sit in bed and to tap as a part of my morning routine, and not even to tap to like shift the thoughts away, but to tap to bring myself in my presence and in my body, and just kind of making sure that it doesn't have to be that thing where you're like trying to fix it or trying to solve it or trying to, you know, be really intense with your emotional experience. It's just that you're creating an intentional pocket of your day where you are truly present for yourself. Like I know that no matter what happens after the rest of the day, I will have that space in the morning before I fully get out of bed, because I know that I'm going to get up and pee and let Asher out and do all of that before I kind of have this moment. But that I'm going to have that pocket that's dedicated to myself, and that I'm pouring into my cup first. That I'm always making sure that my emotional wellness is in check before I do anything else, because that's really been a thing that's prevented me from taking action in other ways. So underneath everything for me, there's been that mindset of no matter what, I can't ignore my emotional wellness again. And because I haven't acknowledged that that's a fear, but also I haven't acknowledged that I needed to put something into my routine to guarantee as much as we possibly can that that wouldn't be an issue. It was keeping me from feeling like, oh, I can actually move into the next step. So I think locking that in over the next couple of days will free me up a little bit, because I can check in at night with it and be like, I did take care of my emotional wellness this morning, and I can pull it out of my brain and teach my brain, okay, you're actually doing the things. You don't have to be locked into fear in this experience here. So, because I know Orlando do too, but I hope that you're enjoying this experience and that this is helpful for you and wherever you are, maybe getting some own reflection on your life. I love hearing people talk about their experiences, because I feel like when they do, it doesn't always have to be that it's my experience, but it helps me be like, oh, is there a way that I could look at this differently? Is there an openness here? Or can this spark an idea for myself? And I mean, I plan on recording all of this. It'll probably be uploaded slightly delayed, which I was worried about in the beginning, because I'm like, do I have to treat this like Vlogmas? But really, we're doing whatever we want. So as long as I get all of the days uploaded, I'm kind of fine. And I just like that it allows me to be as truly present with this process as possible, so that we both get the most from it. Okay, let's take a second and tally where we're at, because I need to go run a quick little errand. So by 2:30, where are we at today? I have not done my quiet walk or my workout, but we are going to combine those together with my run. I was going to go for an evening run around 6 p.m. I need to go return some of the stuff I got for the other day to hang up the TV from Target. The new stand is coming tonight, so we're going to do that while combining it with my I've been procrastinating list, which is to listen to the course that I've been putting off. 15 to 20 minutes. That's perfect for the car ride where I'm going, so we will knock that out. We've already journaled this morning. I'm drinking water. Writing things that went thankful for. 10 things I'm thankful for went well today. We'll do that tonight. Stretching I will do before my run, and meditation I think I'm probably going to do this evening. I feel like that feels good. We're doing great on social media timers, and then eating in a way that honors and supports my body. I did have a cheeky little Chick-fil-A for lunch, but I also didn't assign myself a diet for this, other than to figure out what the best flow of food was for me and kind of getting myself back into having the most energy. And we're doing that. So I feel like we are on track for where I want to be today, but also every day is different. So I love that this allows us to just figure out the flow that works best for us and is the most supportive. Saying that, and I feel like I want to acknowledge this for a second. I used to be the person who would just dive all in, and I would never really acknowledge all of the pieces or ways in that it wasn't working or why it wasn't working. I was just like, it's a problem, I want it solved, we're gonna go straight in. When I went plant-based, I did that. And I've been pretty much dairy-free ever since. Mindful of like having some more lactose-free stuff in the last year or so, but like pretty much dairy-free for the last decade. I've always been that all-in personality. So sometimes it can feel like a failure when you're having to take one step at a time, because you're actually taking foundational steps that will make it like when you're actually taking steps that build towards your foundation instead of just like ripping up the house and throwing it out and like putting in a new one, you're truly kind of repairing things. And that is what this feels like. Is sometimes it feels really slow, which is why I feel like the gratitude list at the end of the day is very helpful, but also it feels very purposeful, and it feels like I'm being less neglectful of myself, because there's the version that we've all pretty much experienced at one point in time where you push it all down and you push it all down and eventually it explodes and you have to deal with everything at once. And we're trying to not get to that. We're trying to deal with it as it kind of comes up. And that feels new to me and kind of slower than sometimes my patients would like, but it also feels like it's working, and it's probably a little bit better for my nervous system. So I'm going to tell myself that that's what's happening, because it feels like that's what's happening, and we're just going to have to suss that out in real time.